All right, guys, what is up? Another my shit's not charging. Whatever. Another week. Can we get a fucking live HOH for once? That's another thing that's making me mad. My shit is not plugged in, but driving me nuts. The whole episode. Take it away, Jalen. Your thoughts right off the bat.
For TV, like it's a great episode, right? Like, I wish they would have done it a little bit better about making it so obvious that the power was going to be used. I wish that they would have kind of dramatized that a little bit instead of just making it obvious that it was going to be used. But I mean, all in all, I think it was a really good episode. Obviously, it's hard to I've always been a fan. I think that live eviction should be at least an hour and a half long because I think that like you gotta let's see the veto or ceremonies on Monday, so you have Monday to Thursday of footage, right?
Right.
That doesn't really ever get used. Whereas if you made it an hour and a half, you would have a lot more storytelling. But other than that, I mean, it was a good episode. Very dramatic at the end, obviously.
It didn't show any like. I wish they included more like pleading and stuff, and
right.
I know
because there was a lot of back and forth this week, and I think it was a clash of like gameplays, right? You had like Jag campaigning and doing really well and convincing people, and then you had Jared campaigning and doing really well and convincing people not to keep him, and none of that was really shown. So, but it is what it is.
I know, and I'm hypocritical because I want a live HOH, but I also want more time for pleas. I can't even remember what segments did they have that I wish they didn't. I know there were a couple. Like it was a good episode.
Well, they had the power this week as well.
I get the power. They showed all of the pressure cooker, and no, I'm tripping. That was way.
No, in this episode they just showed Suri and Jared. They had that little section. Yeah. And then they had the power, and then they had that was pretty much it. And then the eviction, and then the power being used at the end. But speaking of power, I mean, since it's fresh on everybody's minds, we should just jump right off the gate and talk about that, and then we'll kind of backtrack and talk about the week.
Here, you keep talking. I can grab my charger real quick. Just keep talking.
Okay. I have very strong opinions. I don't know anybody watching that has saw my Twitter knows that I have very strong opinions on this power being used. And I kind of want to wait for Dominic to get back because I want to let him go first and get his thoughts on it. And then because I'm so stuck in my opinion on the power. But what do you guys think in the chat? You think it was a good use of the power, bad use of the power, or it doesn't really matter? Let's see what you guys think. Because, I mean, in theory, I don't think that anything that Suri does matters, right? I think that she has such a golden path to the end. But in terms of gameplay, I think it was a terrible move. But we'll see what you guys think. Wait for Dominic to get back.
I don't know why my damn fucking MacBook doesn't want to charge. What is going on?
Yeah, Jeremy, the power only lasts 2 weeks, correct? So, and I think that adds an interesting dynamic to the points that I'm going to make because, right, it's like you could only use it this week or next week, but we'll see. Emerson said, I think it was good, but I'm biased because I like Jag. Yeah, I mean, it's good for Jag, right? Of course, he gets to stay in the house. And, like, I personally am excited that Jag gets to stay in the house as well. But when you think about the reality of who had the power, I mean, even for Matt, I think it was, I mean, Matt gets to keep, especially if he tells Jag, like, Matt gets to keep arguably his number one ally. You know, they had that Riley connection. I ultimately think it was a good move for him. But for the person that really held the power, when you actually think about it, it was Suri. Terrible move. Terrible move. So, is that outlet busted over there, Dom?
Yeah, I guess I fucking blew it up. So much for the setup. Gotta make a game day decision. I'm giving up trying to fucking fix it.
Dude, are you like in like I've never seen a hallway like that in somebody's house.
So that's like the basement. That's like the under the
Oh,
stairs.
oh, gotcha.
Laundry room. All right, let me plug this bitch back in.
Yeah. Ooh, I can't wait to talk about this. You good?
Oh, I busted my fucking.
The chargers was what busted?
Yeah, I fucking dropped it or something. Might have to join on my phone.
How much battery do you have?
There's like, yeah, this computer is so old, it has to be fucking plugged in or it's not gonna work.
Oh.
Yeah, I busted the charger. Okay, I'm joining on my phone, y'all. But yeah, I'm on the same page with Suri. She had total. That was her power right there.
Yeah.
That was not Matt's power. The moment he went and gave her full control and full reign over that power, it was the
Right.
Suri power. And so at the end of the day, I thought that whole edit was a front and that it wasn't going to get used.
Me too.
Because
it makes zero sense.
It did not make sense to say Jag there, especially when you've been clearly like you could. There was no benefit to saving Jag there. Like I get he's in your alliance, the 7 deadly sins, but you've made it clear, Suri, that the seven deadly sins are not your priority, right? So
right.
You got. I mean, let Jag go. It's not like a matter of Blue's staying, so Jag. Like why couldn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't like
it
that.
Doesn't. Yeah, it's crazy. And it goes back to like, I don't think I've said it on this podcast, but I've definitely been thinking it all season, just watching Suri play. It's like the flashy moves thing is a survivor thing, and that's just how Suri is gonna try and do it. And yeah, so once you get on your phone, I'll start going through my bullet points. No, you're good. It's a good thing. I don't think we're gonna.
Ooh.
All right. There's Dom. Okay. I had to stream. All right.
Cool. What's up, guys? There we go.
All right. So and now my phone's making noise. So as far as my thoughts, right? So we'll kind of go one by one. So the first thing being, right? It's So the first thing being is that we've already kind of talked about it, is that we have to talk about this not being Matt's power, because like I said, for Matt, I think it was a good use of the power, right? Matt's not in jeopardy of going home whatsoever. And besides Suri, Jag is probably his closest ally, right? So doesn't make good, in my opinion, a good use of the power for Matt. But the context to this is that it's Suri's power, right? Because Matt was going to do whatever Suri basically told him to do, right? We saw it in the DR. He literally said it in the DR. He said, Suri's played Survivor before. She's used to things like this, which is like just another layer of this whole bringing people back, like from like famous people or legends of the game just by themselves. It's so frustrating, especially when they cast a bunch of idiots.
Right, because you can angle it like they use experience to their advantage, right?
Right.
And I did not expect Matt to crumble that. Like I did not expect, and I get it. Like obviously there is a route to it, and I think it's gonna pay off big for someone. I think Suri's gonna get to the very end, and she's gonna get third place, and then someone's gonna win the game, and they listen to Suri the whole time. But it's only gonna be one person that doesn't. It's probably gonna be, the odds of it being Matt are slim unless he's really consistent with how he's playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But with Jag being in the game, changes everything, because I feel like he was kind of okay with the fact Jag was leaving and he was going to pivot himself to Suri, but with Jag being in the game, now Matt has a couple options. So unless he can remain completely consistent to this Suri train that he's given us, he has no shot, because he's going to.
I mean, go ahead, but go ahead.
He's got no shot unless he remains completely consistent to the Suri train.
because in the DR, which is really the only credible source other than like one-on-one with cameras on feeds, Cerise stated Matt's up there, top 4, top 3. And for a guy like Matt, that's pretty, an Olympic athlete that's pretty in shape, those end comps, if he really can remember his days, it's in the bag. I mean, there's no stopping him once if he touches Final Four and he's next to Izzy, Felicia, Sari, even Jared sucks ass at competitions. All 4 of them, it's Matt's game to lose at that point, because no matter how loyal they are to each other, if Matt can win a veto, he's moving on to the next round.
Yeah. So let's really dive into it. So first thing first, let's talk about the vote and why this is a stupid use of the power of Sari. 1, she could have got the votes to save him without having to use the power. And then you have the power for the next week. And Cameron doesn't have to play an HOH.
Correct.
Even without Jared, right? They had 5 votes. Nicole, America, Felicia, Sari, Izzy. No, Matt, Nicole, Sari, Izzy, Felicia, right? That's 5. All I need is 6. America would have done it. So now you have 6 votes, right, to save Jag. And you don't need to use the power. Now you have it for the following week. That's the first thing. They had the votes to save Jag. So doing this was stupid. The second thing, you tell Jag that you're going to vote to keep him. You reassure him, knowing that he's coming back into the game by your own doing. So rather than like being completely honest with him.
Do we know he was blindsided? Do we know?
Yeah. Did you not see his reaction?
Well, totally. I know the reaction, but if that's like, because you never know who's a good actor, right? But right. But like, we don't know if he was tipped off yet. We don't know.
That's true. I truly hope so.
If it was a tip-off, if Sari tipped him off, I take back everything. That was masterful. If she tipped him off and now Jag is indebted to Sari and Matt as like a little tight people that know about this, that's incredible. Jag, because I'm high on Jag. I am so high on Jag. Seeing him get evicted there was devastating because I wanted him to get his foothold, and I think now he's a dog to win this next HOH potentially. And a dog, if Sari tipped him off, he's not going to take the shot, right? But if Sari did not tip him off and Matt's accredited to it, there could be some noms like Felicia, obviously Cameron and Red are touching the block right away, but you never know who that renom's going to be.
Yeah. So hopefully, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me that she didn't tip him off. So I'm going to lean on the side that she did, right? Because like, if she didn't, that it truly was just like completely a botch, right, of gameplay. So I'm going to lean to the...
I don't think not tipping him. I think they're like, let's say they didn't tip him off. And let's say now after he's been saved, gone through the emotions of being truly blindsided. Actually, no, because that's still so malicious. Because he thought he had the votes, right?
Yeah, and they reassured him multiple times. Like, it was really dirty what they did. Like bad.
Yeah, but, no, I get it. But let's say like worst case, they go up to him and Matt's like, "Bro, I saved you." Jag's that's his dog now. Like that's his man. And then Matt says, "Yeah, Sari was the only one that knew." Now Sari's in on that gig, but still, he's going to be very angry at some people that evicted him, and it's really setting in that maybe he doesn't put up Cameron and Red if he wins this.
Right. So even for Sari, right, even if she did tip him off, right, that's good for your personal game, right? But you're in a situation where you're not playing the game for yourself, right? You're playing the game for you and your son and Izzy at this point, right? So it's like you almost like have to try and protect them as well, right? And those are the people that Jag will be pissed off at. If they go and say, if Sari goes and says, "Yeah, me and Matt saved you. I told Matt to save you," or however you want to word it, right? We know you're going to get evicted, but we couldn't get the votes from these certain people. Or even if it's just vague, we couldn't get the vote from these people, right? Then that points to Sari or Izzy and Jared and Felicia, right? People that you need to go far in the game. So now you have somebody that you just saved with somebody who's undoubtedly loyal to you, Matt, Jag and Matt, going up against the people that you actually need in the house to play the game with, okay? The third reason why it's just completely stupid to use it to save Jag is because it's Jag, right? Like, this is somebody that's going to be extremely hard to get out of the game. the farther along that you go in the game, it's going to be harder and harder and harder to get him out, right? Now Jag is, if they get out Cameron and Red this week, Jag has got a little squad, right?
Right.
Matt, Blue, Jag, Jared in that mix a little bit, right? Like, it's just it's like when you can get somebody out of the game, right? Like Jag is not gonna do anything for you. Like, yeah, he's claiming to be like really loyal and all this stuff, but that's to a point, right? And he's not somebody that is in your plans to go to Final 5, go to Final 7 with. So why are you saving him just to try and get him out 3 weeks later?
I want to credit Jag a little bit here. I really do. I mean, we're sitting here right now trying to figure out what was the positives to keeping him. At the end of the day, something had to click in their brains to say that this was better for their game. So I'm going to give Jag, I don't know. He had no idea about the power. I really don't know how Jag, I don't know who to attribute this move to, because it was not beneficial for Suri, and it was Suri's power. For all the points we've said, it could have been used last week. Jeremy just said, if the power doesn't get used, and I'm assuming there's a jury battle back due to scheduling. So I guess this is her way of controlling who gets saved. So I don't know what you mean by that. Are you implying she's meta gaming it? The fact that she thinks that
there's no chance
there's potentially a jury battle back if this power isn't used? Because if that's the case and that was her reasoning, then she's also taking away a jury battle back for herself and giving it to Jag earlier, which I would be even stupider, because why would you want to take that chance from yourself? Then if that's the case and you're thinking like that, it's ideal to have the power not used at all. So. And then Emerson says, I think Jared was one of the main people telling him he was safe. Plus, Jag said Jared's vote mattered the most to him. And then you also said, Emerson, you think it was a good move. I really don't think it was a good move for Suri. It was her power. For Matt,
good move. Decent move.
And he kind of gets to, because it wasn't even his idea. So it's kind of like one of those things.
I think that's the biggest kicker of it, is that nobody's going to really know that it was him. However, I am a big proponent. They have I will always say this. They have too much time. Things always get figured out in the Big Brother house. They will figure out that it was Matt that saved him. Point blank, period. End of this discussion.
It's Suri knows. It's because you got to look at it like this. You got to look at, and this is the problem with how many secrets are getting come out. It is day 30. It is day 30 flat. That means there's 70 days. You still have to play what they've played 2 more times. With that much time, people talk. Everything's going to get aired out. Like, if one person knows, other than yourself, everyone's going to know. So it's only a matter of time before Matt and Suri maybe are at odds, maybe 3 weeks from now, and everyone knows. Or maybe it's this week when they tell Jag, Jag tells Blue, Blue tells Jared, the whole house knows, right? It's only a matter of time.
Well, Jared already knows that Matt had won the power, so
yeah, Suri told him, yeah.
And this is why, like, the person that this hurts the most, because I want to piggyback on what Emerson said, the person that this hurts the most is Jared. And if in my opinion, if Suri didn't tell Jared, which we don't know much about who told who about using the power, because every time somebody talked about it, they cut it off on feeds.
Yeah.
So if Suri didn't tell Jared that Matt was going to use the power, they are going to get into a pretty bad argument, because Jared was like buttering Jag up this morning. Like, yeah, bro, I got you. You're safe. And if Jared in my opinion, if Jared knows that Matt's using the power, he's not going to do all that extra. You know what I mean? Like, it's more of a, yeah, bro, I think you have the votes. I'm not totally sure. Like, we'll have to see what happens. Not, yeah, I got you, man. Like, you're going to stay, just for him to get blindsided 10-0. And then he comes back into the game after all these people just lied to you. That like there was a way to go about this, right? If Suri wanted Matt to use the power, there was a way to go about it that would have at least made it like, okay, almost like a pointless move. Like, okay, like you saved Jag. There's no like bad blood, but like for what? Like, why did you save Jag? I think he's playing one of the best games in the house. So
that's completely. You think Jared is playing the best game in the house?
Yeah, I do.
You think? All right.
Name one person that's targeting him. Actually, as a matter of fact, name one person that's even mentioned targeting him, whether it be now or down the line.
1 second, I gotta write my tears down because I'm on my phone. But we'll get into it. Hold that thought. So what's your question?
Name one person that has even mentioned. Not only is you can't even say targeting Jared because nobody's targeting Jared, but name one person that has even mentioned.
I'm not talking about now. I think he's got just absolutely nothing going for him. I think strategic wise, he's empty. I think he's completely flawed. And if Suri was not there, he would be toast. He would be toast. He would be absolutely toast. No, you can't shake your head. If Suri was not there, Jared would be out of the house. He would be
by who? What would have happened?
By literally anyone. It's a whole different game. You don't know who. If Suri's not there to protect him with, like, say Felicia, Izzy, like the whole side of the house.
But they don't know. I watch feeds religiously. Suri doesn't do anything to protect Jared. Like, they say it themselves.
It's not about saying it's about being strategically flawed. Jared does not have that click in his brain. He's going to lose the game.
Okay, so what's one thing that he's done that's been strategically flawed?
Strategically flawed, telling Blue about Suri.
How is it? So the only way that's strategically flawed is if she says something about it. That's the only way.
I think. Okay, well, sure. It's not. If Blue never tells anyone and she's dead loyal to Jared, it wasn't necessarily strategically flawed, but it was very ambitious of him to make that effort with her. When it's day 30, they're a very fresh showmance. They were complete strangers 30 days ago, and he's putting a lot of trust into Blue to do that. He's also going behind Suri, but he didn't check in with Suri to do that. He just did it, right? He's very irrational. He does not make decisions while thinking. Should we start my tiers?
Well, so I want to kind of piggyback on this. So
go ahead.
You can't name one person that is targeting or thinking about targeting Jared, right? When every single person in the house has had at least one person say that they want to target or are thinking about targeting them,
I mean,
right?
Listen. There's conversations that get, like, this week he was in the clear. He had his, he was in the clear. There have been conversations before where people have mentioned Jared as threat level, Jared potentially being nominated. It's happened. Week 1, it was extremely prominent. When he was potentially on the block, people were definitely considering Jared for nominations. It was a fact. He cleared it up.
Not true. Not true.
Week. Very true. Very true.
He was on the block and they pulled him off.
Okay, but you're telling me that me, Cole, didn't have conversations with Izzy in the storage room about Jared staying on the block and how he was on the other side with said Jag, with said Ryan.
Okay, but that's week 1, 4 days
exactly,
in, 3 days in.
This week, Jalen, he was not mentioned as a target because Cameron's HOH, and he's got a plethora of people to target before him. People weren't considering Jared to go onto the block. But I'm saying he's irrational and not playing a good game moving forward, and that's not going to pay off. In fact,
he's extremely well protected, one.
And like I said, if Suri wasn't there, he would not be extremely well
That's not true. That's just not true, because even Felicia herself told Jared, right? Jared has built his own relationships outside of Suri, because Felicia herself told Jared, I had a final 2 with Suri, but she can't keep her mouth shut, so I would rather have a final 2 with you.
Listen.
So you saying that he doesn't have those relationships outside of Suri is just not true.
I'm saying he benefits extremely a lot of the security he has with Suri.
Well, of course he does.
Okay, and I'm saying without that security, Jared's not in the game. He's not.
That is so far from the truth. It's not even funny. But
it's factual.
And when we talk about influence and being strategic and power, right?
I promise you, if Suri was in that house and she didn't have her son, she'd be perfectly fine. She would have Izzy still crawling all over. She'd have Felicia as her number 1. She would still have the big alliance.
I don't think that that's true. I don't think that that's true either, because this is week 3. This is week 3 that Suri now would have made a bad move had Jared this week or Jared and Corey the previous 2 weeks not convinced them not to do it. 3 weeks in a row.
Listen, 2 weeks ago we said it was a terrible move to send Hisam home. We said it was terrible. Then Cameron wins HOH. Worst case scenario. And he took a shot at Jag and Blue. That's what he and Suri is here ready to take another move, and now we're saying that it's a stupid move to keep Jag in the game. But then feeds are going to turn on, and Jag might be HOH and have Matt and Suri as his top priority, and then Suri is going to whisper to Jag, "Don't put up Jared," and then Jared's going to be safe and come out unscathed. There's so many angles to why Suri is the one carrying Jared. There's no possible argument to say that Jared is benefiting Suri's game enough to say that without him, she would not be in the same exact position she would be in, which is a fact. She would be right here.
I don't think that's necessary. I just don't think that
At
that's
what
true.
point
She
in
was
the
not going to
game-
be as well protected, but she's definitely going to be. All that I'm saying, right? All that I'm saying is within their inner core of Felicia, Suri, Izzy, McCole, Jared. That's the inner core, right?
Okay. Also,
The
I
people
do
that
want to say Jared's competition abilities are. I mean, I was a David Alexander stan for 3 months, and I could not imagine being in your position, Jalen, having to watch this man lose comp. It's embarrassing how bad he loses these competitions. Carry on.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think that has the in-game competitions are more important, so we'll have to see. But
They take brains. They take memorization.
As far as the inner core, there's been more heat on Suri and Izzy than there has Jared, and I think that says who's playing the better game. I mean, their games are one in itself. Like, they're both going to make it far. More than likely, I still personally believe they're both going to be in the final two, and I think Jared wins. But in terms of the best representation I can give you, Suri, Izzy, Matt, Nicole, Felicia. Those 5 people were headstrong on voting out Blue. I mean, convinced. Like, this is the move. We're doing it. It doesn't matter. As far as Jared's conversation with his mom, right? Obviously, that was a heated conversation.
Which is what flipped the vote.
That was not what flipped the vote whatsoever.
Yes.
No, it wasn't.
If Suri had not had the conversation with Jared about how he wants to keep Blue, if Suri did not have Jared, Blue's out the house. Blue's out the house.
I watched it happen in my own eyes. So just let me finish, okay? Even after that conversation with Jared, right? People, I guess, downplay that conversation with Suri because they're like, oh, he was being emotional. And of course, that's his mom. So he's going to be raw, real, and honest. However, what he did, which is what ultimately made the vote flip, he went to Felicia, he went to Nicole, he went to Matt individually and acted like he was hearing them out. Yeah, I'll play along with it. Yeah, I'll listen to you guys. And basically gave his counterpoints and convinced them that, like, this isn't the right move. And I have evidence of that by a conversation with McCole and Suri in the storage room, where McCole, your favorite, literally was like, yeah, Jared made some great counterpoints, and it's like, really, we're saving Jag for what? And there's no reason to like make Jared mad and do this. Like, he convinced her.
Okay, are you like I think we both established that I think we can agree between Blue and Jag going, both were okay for Nicole, Izzy, Felicia, Suri. If Blue goes, that's okay. If Jag goes, that's okay. That was benefiting them both.
But no. Let me tell you why it's not okay for Suri. Okay. So the whole reason why they wanted to flip the vote was to make a flashy move and take the first shot at Cameron and Red, because they think that they're targeting them. If Jag goes, right, forget the power is in play. If Jag goes and they don't flip the vote, Red is the only one that can play in HOH. He is not targeting Suri and Izzy. He's putting up America and Blue. And if one of them comes down, Corey is the replacement. He said that 100 times. That's his plan. So if you flip the vote and you piss them off, now Red, Bowie happen to win HOH. Now you're in the Heinz, like in the limelight, and they're not going to put up American and Blue now. Now they're going to put up 2 of y'all. So it's like making yourself, by flipping the vote, it's making yourself a target for no reason.
I was mostly about to defend McCole because I don't know why you wanted to trash her like that. But
I wasn't trashing her. I wasn't trashing her at all. I was just saying.
I'm just saying. My point on McCall is that she heard Jared out, who is it's known he's with Blue, right? So for her perspective, Mikol's taking a direct shot at Blue with an ally Jared, who's telling you he's here. You're hearing each other out, right? And Jared's making a great case to keep his showmance. Right. And then you go and you check that note with Suri, and now Suri's on the same page as Jared.
But no, Suri wasn't on the same page as her in that conversation. She was arguing against it. She was like, well, that's not fair to the four of us. There's four of us that want to keep Blue, and there's only one of Jared.
And at the end of the day, conversations got had. Like that conversation right there, it's great. This is why Suri is also a great player, and how she's playing this whole Jared Suri thing as well, is how they have their differences and how she's able to have these conversations, which is great on her part, where it's slightly strategic for her, but it's genuine with Jared, which is why Jared's playing the worst game and can't be compared to Suri in this state.
That's crazy. Coming from you, somebody who's not targeted, hasn't been talked about being targeted, is literally a lock minimum to make it to Final 7, is Bowie, so well protected.
Bowie Jane is also, not not really being targeted. Like it's
But she's not in any alliances. Like she's not in the core of anything. Okay. Jared's in the core of multiple different things.
These arguments for the week 4 arguments where you're saying like he's not in conversations of being targeted, etc. It's okay. I mean, maybe you won that side of it, but like I'm talking the grand scheme of things with the current game he's playing, with the current caliber of player he is, has zero longevity. It just doesn't.
Okay. All right. I'm excited for that to be clipped, and
I can't wait. I mean, he might get like second place, but I don't think.
Who is he going to get second place to?
Suri Fields, potentially.
No, there's no way. I think once that secret is revealed, they're voting for Jared to win all day, every day.
I'm going to jump into my tiers. In the graveyard, we obviously have Cameron. He is not leaving there. I'm surprisingly rooting for him. I hate him, but like I kind of can't help but root for an underdog, and I kind of like that he's at least creating he's threatening the hierarchy a little bit. Like he's able to take a step back and not just listen to Suri. He's also able to make these alliances. Unfortunately for him, Matt had to go and run and ruin his game even further. But Cameron, he's not winning the game. And that's the graveyard. Oh, wait. Doubling down on my bet to dye my hair gray if Jared does not win the season. Jared is in the graveyard. Jared is not winning this season. There is no chance. Jared and Cameron, terrible players, have no longevity, will not be crowned the winner of the $750,000, and it's staying that way. It's staying that way. Jared is complete. He's a shaky leaf. His veins are not ice cold. There's blood, and he's going home. Whether it's sooner or later, Jared is. I mean, what does it take to win the game? Social game, strategy, competitions. That's usually the big 3 competitions we can rule out for Jared. He's got no strengths, right? I mean, we've seen him in unscrambling a word. We've seen him in puzzles. We've seen him in endurance. We've seen him in. We've seen it. I mean, we've seen a plethora of competitions at this point. And the closest he came was to Heisem, where he choked. Right? And that was a competition that was very early on that a lot of people were throwing as well. So, like I said, he's not winning any competitions. He's got that ruled out for him. His strategy, if Suri wasn't there, he'd have no strategy. He would be.
They don't even talk. Like they don't even talk.
Cuddled up with Blue. He would be cuddled up on Blue, cleaning more sheets. That's what he'd be doing all summer.
That's insane.
Social game currently is all right, but
the best that probably besides Suri best in the house.
Sorry, I think I'm glitching out.
No, you're still good.
Okay, social game currently okay. I think this is its peak, and that's why he's going. I'd rather be early than late. I think this is the highest he's going to be in social caliber. This is
the second best social game in the house, is what you're saying.
Jared does not have the second best social.
Who's playing a better social? So besides Suri, who's playing a better social game than Jared?
Better social game is all of Suri's allies, all of them, and
who? Who? Izzy's playing a better social game than Jared?
Izzy's playing a better social game than Jared.
Oh my God. There's no way.
Felicia's playing a better social game than Jared. Nicole is playing a better social game than Jared. And Corey's playing a better social game than Jared. All right,
No.
but that's the
No.
graveyard. That's the graveyard tier. Listen, you can argue with a wall. That's the two worst players in the game, Jared and Cameron, for me. All right, tier number. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiers today. Am I glitching out or no?
No, you're good.
I'm good. Okay, you're glitching out.
I'm glitching out. Yeah, that could possibly be.
All right, tier number 5 for the viewers watching. If you're watching, comment. What do you think about me putting fucking Jared in the bottom tier? Is that a thumbs down or a thumbs up? All right, tier 5. We got, what did I call this one? Oh, I called it no mind, no problem. These are players that do not have a mind of their own, and they're perfectly content with that. And that would now be, oh, you're going to love this. It'd be Blue. Blue has no mind of her own. And the mind that is, the mind that she's using would be Jared's. And then Bowie. Bowie Jane has no mind of her own, and I'm not really entirely sure whose mind she's decided to use, but I think it's just no mind. No mind, no problem. Those two, Blue and Bowie. In my 5th tier, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players ahead of Blue and Bowie. All right, but that's pretty easy. Jalen, thoughts on Blue and Bowie?
I agree.
Bottom tier. Not quite out of it, but very close. But it'll be a while before Bowie's completely out of it because I need to truly see I need to see Bowie really, giving it.
She doesn't know where she's at.
We'll see. I could see her sliding a bit further. We'll see. I don't think she's out of the winner contention completely. Same with Blue. All right. The sheep. I can't remember what I called this, but I'm calling it the sheep. Cerise's sheep. Let's go with that. Cerise's sheep. The big three. Cerise's sheep. Matt at this point has joined there. Felicia and Izzy. They're there for Cerise. Cerise is their boss, their leader. I compare Cerise to Paul, BB19, and that cult or Boston Rob, Survivor 22, or like players, that they come in solo and completely devastate a season and take control of people's minds. Matt, Fifi, and Izzy are not out of winner contention because I see Cerise making it to the end with all of them, right? As she stated she wants to, and potentially one of them, especially Matt at this point, winning the game. I mean, I think that's the route that they're satisfied with taking. I don't think any of them have like a vision of taking Cerise out anytime soon. So it'd be really unfortunate circumstances if like one of them were to lose because of the hive mind that they've created. All right. That leaves 6 players. Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. That leaves 6 players. Okay, but Jalen, thoughts on the sheep? Matt, Fifi, and Izzy. Felicia.
I agree. McCall could be lumped in there as well.
For you. Let's see. Does chat say anything? Nope. All right. Then we have, I call this tier Threaten the Hierarchy. And I don't know where people are on these two, but I'm getting higher and higher on these two every day. Threaten the Hierarchy goes to Jag. After surviving this, he has a huge chance to threaten the hierarchy that Cerise has created. And Red. Red has a huge chance to really shake this game. I really like his positioning. I actually like Red's social game more than Jared's. I really like, what he's created for himself. He has a very loud final 2 that he would stay next to if he was on the block next to. So, I like what Red's created. At worst case scenario, he's on the block next to Cameron. Final nom, he stayed. So I don't think Red's going anywhere within this next week. And I think without Cameron, he's a puppy dog that needs someone to take care of him, and he might become one of Cerise's sheep and have that same longevity that Matt, Fifi, and Izzy do. I put him a little higher because I like his competition skills, I like his story, and I like his social caliber. And then Jag is there as well to threaten the hierarchy because he was just brutally blindsided and then brought back into the game. I'm so curious to how it's going to play out. At this point, I don't know if Jared's going to come out that clean. But what are your thoughts on Jag and Red being in the top 6 in the 3rd tier together? Jalen?
What happened? We good? Can you see me? Hello?
Oh, yeah, you're good. I was saying Jag and Red are my tier 3 to threaten the hierarchy. What are your thoughts? They got 4 players ahead of them.
You said Jag and Red, right?
Yeah, Jag and Red.
I mean, Red needs to be way down the list. Like, he's more than likely now with Jag staying, he's probably going to be pre-jury unless he wins competitions, which is always more than likely that you don't win competitions. So
how does he go? How does he go home? How does he go home?
Well, it's the whole house is planning on targeting Cameron and Red as the next 2 targets. So.
Which is okay. I agree. Cameron and Red are targets, but final noms Cameron and Red. Who goes home?
Cameron. This week.
Cameron. Exactly. So Red has a minimum. Worst case scenario for Red is he's on the block. Final noms next to Cameron. Worst case, he stays. So the worst case is Red survives eviction this week. What happens? I mean, after that, when Red's, not got his final 2 in the game that he's been observably loyal to this whole time, I think he prospers. In my opinion.
No, there's no way. The relationships are too damaged. And he hasn't done anything wrong, but Suri and Izzy are just convinced that he's backstabbing them or scheming against them. So and Izzy will never work with Red. It's just not going to happen. So. I like
Red's story. I like Red's story a lot more than Cameron's. I feel like Cameron is the reason Red is so hindered socially on that side. I like Red's charisma with everyone else a lot more.
So here's my issue, right, with your tiers, right? And I'll just be completely real. So somebody like Red, who literally half the house hates, right? Literally half the house hates.
Hate's a strong word. Hate's a strong word.
It's not.
In the Big Brother house, you know how they get. Week to week, someone's got to be the person they talk the most about. At one point, America was the most hated person in that house, right? It happens. It's going to shift.
I think that she's still high on that list, but America was literally ready to blow up on Red yesterday. Suri, Izzy can't stand him. Jared can't stand him.
I'm saying longevity. Red's high. This is the highest Red's been. Probably, maybe the highest. But now,
and that's insane to me. He should be down at the bottom. And then you have somebody.
I like his winner contention over Matt, Felicia, Izzy, Blue, Bowie, Jared, and Cameron for sure.
I'll throw Red into that. And I'll throw Red into that 3-person Nicole, America, Red. We can throw in another one.
You want to shave your head. That's what.
I mean, at this point, it's not that. Red will not win this game. He has no chance of winning this game. There's not a single person that he can sit next to in final 2 that they will vote for him to win. Not one.
Ooh, okay. We'll see.
So,
listen, Red's not the hill I'm gonna die on. I'm not gonna obviously.
But I'll throw him in the bet just as that's how confident I am. So if Red, Nicole, or America win, I'll shave my head.
I got Jared. Okay. Well, I'm not here to say Red's gonna win the game, right? Because I know how insane that sounds, and I know I'm putting him high. I just want to give him something because I like the positioning he has. Whether it's, obviously I wouldn't want to be him with people disliking me and, being in a very polarized final 2. It's very dangerous, but I like it. I like the combination of physicality he has. I like that he's thinking. I like that he's expressing loyalty very clearly. Another player that did that was Dan Giesling. Not calling Red Dan Giesling, but that was a little thing Dan did a lot, was express loyalty in public and then be deceptive in private. I'll move on. Top 4 players. A big shift. In Tier 2, we have Love is Blind. America and Corey. I shouldn't even call this Tier 2. I should call it Tier 1.5 because I don't want to hop off the America train. But Love truly is blind. You should never, in my opinion, find yourself in the Big Brother house, cuddled up in the have-not room, while everyone bonds in the bathroom laughing about you. I don't think that's the situation you want to be in. She is overtly flirting with him when he is overtly expressing no interest sometimes. It's a bit weird. I feel like she's self-aware, though, of it. But she is obviously more loyal to Corey than Corey is to her. But she is a thinker at the end of the day.
I have a hot take on that.
Take it away. Go ahead. What's the hot take?
I have a hot take on that. Just like in the beginning when people thought that Jared didn't like Blue and that whatever. It's just a guy's thing, like, of playing it down. I think Corey is literally head over heels for America, and at this point, I think that he will. If he wasn't, he would have shut the whole showman's thing down to begin with. That's my thoughts. I think that Corey actually has feelings for America, because if he wasn't, he's smart enough to know to shut it all down. And I think that he's deceptively trying to get her further and further, and he will continue to try to get her further and further.
I'll admit, I agree with you. I should correct myself. How should I put this? What I'm trying to say is, I didn't say he's not into her. How do I put this? In a strategic sense, he's more aware of how it could hinder his game by being in a showmance than she is. Like,
I agree with that. I think he does know, but I think that he doesn't care.
He's being a lot more hesitant with the showmance because he knows how it would affect the game, whereas she's being a little more irrational. There's a trend with these tiers is I don't like irrationality, really, and I think she's being a bit irrational with the whole.
So here's my opinion on the showmances, right? So I think that the showmances that don't do well are the ones that try to hide it and try and act like they're not in a showmance, whereas the ones that just openly accept it and do it, I think, but do a good job of talking to other people.
When has that been a pattern? Like, where do you get that pattern from?
Well, I mean, there's been multiple showmances that have made it to the end.
There's also been multiple showmances that made it to the end and were hidden for most of the time.
But those were usually the showmances that developed later in the game.
Well, that's kind of the benefit to be like. There's not hiding it really. Like, there's no hide. I don't think a showmance is what showmance is ever like.
Well, like, for instance, Corey and America, what they're doing, like, Corey is trying to be like, America is being more open with it and talking about it with other house guests, and I think that that's a better path than like being like, oh no, it's not, no. You know what I mean? Like, because they're gonna know regardless.
I think she's a bit much. I think she's expressing it a bit more. I think she's. Listen, okay, so here's what you're saying is you think he's playing it cool in the sense like, okay, my argument is that he's not on the same level as her, but you're saying he is, just hides it. Okay, well,
or is trying to hide it.
I definitely think, obviously, Corey's like, America's like significantly out of his league, so obviously he finds her attractive. I think there's a chance Corey could like boys, but that's a whole different argument for the podcast. But there's a chance he's just hiding it, and he's just because obviously she's gorgeous, and like I just don't think he's like the most like everyone's like romanticism is different. I don't think he's the most like horny person in the world, right? I don't think he's like the person to get a crush that fast. Like everyone loves differently. I think he's like more of a slow burner, obviously. I think that's not him playing it cool. I think he genuinely is like a guy that just like puts up a wall, especially when you're a nerdy guy like him and you're in the Big Brother house and you have a really hot girl all of a sudden all over you. He's gonna be hesitant to be like, hold up.
Yeah, I just think it's more of the lines he doesn't know what he's doing, but then that's a whole different argument then, because first you said that he's playing it cool and now you're saying he doesn't know what he's doing. So no, I think like in terms of playing it cool, I mean like with other people, right? Like even whenever they're together, like I can't even watch. I can't even watch
a girl and a guy. That's just like America would go tell her girlfriends like right away, whereas Corey probably wouldn't mention it with boys until they're like literally dating almost. Like that's
yeah, but I'm saying like more so along the lines of like in terms of them working together is what I'm getting at. So like for instance, what I'm getting at is like when Corey's having conversations with other people, he's not saying anything that to like try and protect America, right? Like he's saying like trying like, oh yeah, we can get her out, blah blah blah. I don't care. Da, 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 da. Whereas deep down inside, he's gonna do everything in his power to try and protect her. Is what I'm getting at.
I agree. Then let me revert back to my original argument. America is. I use the word overtly. America is making more efforts to protect Corey and work with Corey than Corey is to protect America, etc. But yes, deep down inside, he might, be obsessed with her, right?
Exactly. Which I think people. That's what I was getting at. Is whereas when you try and play off the showmance as like, oh, I don't care about her, I'll vote her out whenever, blah blah blah. People don't buy that, and then they look at you as a liar, right?
Well,
so that's what I was getting at.
I don't know. Listen, every game is different. I think there's a case to say like Corey could, because it's been like a joke, like America like won't leave him alone and stuff. So and he's done a great job of being like, yeah, she's a bit much, etc., etc. And so I think he does have the foundation to kind of play it off like that if he wanted to, and he's continuing to do so through conversations. He hasn't, really sold into the whole showmance thing yet. So I think there is a chance. Like, I'm not going to say because it's never worked before, it's not going to work now, where his strategy of what you're saying isn't going to work. Obviously, what you're saying is prediction that you think it's going to, what benefits what way. But in my opinion, I think Corey's benefiting more from this duo than America is. That's why America's shifted down a little bit.
I think it's the exact opposite.
You think America's benefiting more?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, I don't think either of them are benefiting. Like, Corey's only
I think Corey is for sure benefiting. I think that's a fact. Corey is
benefiting. Okay, so elaborate on that. How is he benefiting?
Corey is for sure benefiting because, I have two things. Corey's for sure benefiting with America as an ally and as loyalty wise. I mean, you could say that for any ally, but I think America is one of the cream of the crop to have in this season. I think he's benefiting. I mean, if you want to just a factual evidence of how he benefited is like America's willing to literally put her neck on the line and make a deal for her and him in the pressure cooker. That's a fact. I think he benefits just psychologically having like America like just
okay. So you're saying so I guess this is where it was kind of I lost where what you said didn't make sense originally, but now I got you. So you're saying benefit in their own relationship, but what I was saying is that he doesn't benefit at all outside of that ally. With like getting to the showmance hurts him more than it helps him because he gains America, but I think it's, he had America regardless whether they got to the showmance or not, and also it hurts his relationship with other people.
So you're comparing it from because I'm confused on the argument. You're saying this is him in a showmance with America versus him as an ally of America. Is that the argument?
Right. So what I'm saying is like when you said your statement was Corey's benefiting more from the showmance than America is, right? That was your original argument.
I think this definitely. I think in the sense, here's what I'm saying, and I'm gonna stick with this, is Corey benefits from it because of the amount of loyalty and risk America is willing to put in, the confidence it gives him in the game, having America, and just having America on his side like that is enough to benefit him, and it's an investment, and obviously you think I don't know what you think it is, but I think it's gonna do well for him currently and moving forward having America by his side. Okay. For America, I think it gives her rose-colored glasses. I think and like I said, I named the tier Love is Blind. I think America is a little too on the Corey train and is kind of losing that individuality I like to see in her. That's why she's ranked.
Okay, so all that I was saying is that in terms of Corey would be better off in the game as a whole if he wasn't in a showmance with America, and so basically you're arguing that her undying loyalty. Well, I think that he has that whether they're cuddling or doing whatever, regardless. Yeah, and it hurts his outside relationships. Like Jared's already expressed that he doesn't want to work with, like he wants Corey gone sooner than later. Red doesn't like America, therefore doesn't like Corey. Like multiple different people have talked about Corey and America now being a problem, right? I feel ever since this whole showmance thing happened.
I'm like, there's like parts like this isn't like what obviously there's an argument to be made both sides, like, so I kind of agree with you as well. Like, it's really not like a set in stone thing. Mm-hmm. They're tier 2. Like,
my personal opinion of it is I just don't think either of them benefit from an official showmance, which it seems like they are in. And neither of them benefit from that, and it especially hurts Corey, not in his relationship with America, but his outside position. I think America is toast regardless, so I don't think that she has much of a game to hurt.
She's not toast regardless. There's no saying
she doesn't have any allies. She has America. America has Corey and Jag. That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, you're gonna like this. You're gonna like this because I finally caved. Tier 1. It's Cirie Fields. Tier 1 is Cirie Fields. I thought this day would come a lot later. I knew it was like as time would go on, she would get higher and higher because that threat that she has now gets like you throw that out the window because now you're on day 30 and she's still in. You're not worried about her being a Survivor 4-time player. Everyone is now a Big Brother player, right? And it's a game and a society you've created. So now it really does not matter. She's played Survivor 4 times. No one's going to put her up because she played Survivor 4 times. It's out the window. So now I'm looking at her on the straight up on the Big Brother game she's playing currently, and at the end of the day, she's no longer a 4-time Survivor player. She is Cirie Fields running the Big Brother house. That's just how it is. She is. I mean, you can't just not rank a player like this any lower than tier 1. It's her game to lose. It's her house to crumble. Obviously, she plays with fire like every week, but I'm tired of doubting her. I feel like this is like counting Patrick Mahomes out every year. She's making the championship every week. No matter what she does, sending Heisem home, stupid, worked out. 30 alliances, stupid, working out. Jared telling Blue, stupid, it's working. Like, there's so many things that's just going in her favor that I'm just gonna who am I to tell her what to do? That's Cirie Fields, right?
Yeah,
she knows what she's doing. Never a doubt anymore.
So I'll counter argue to that because I mean I do like you can't argue that she's not in the best position, right? Like you can't argue that. Do I think that she's playing a good game? Sure. Like she's playing a great social game, but like strategically, I don't think that she's playing that great of a game strategically.
Listen. I know
competition wise.
You're referring to her this week, right?
No, I'm referring to like the whole game.
Okay, go ahead. Competition-wise, I'd love to hear this.
Yeah, competition-wise, you made that big argument about Jared, which I don't disagree with, but like, you can make the same argument with her. You know what I mean? Like,
you really can't because Cirie is gonna be able to win those endgame comps. Jared, when you ask him what day was Blue,
I don't think Cirie's as bright as you guys think that she is. Like, she's really not. She's Jared's mom.
You're just trying to be different now. You're just trying to be different.
No, I'm being dead serious.
You cannot sit here and say you can't sit here and say Cirie isn't as bright as we think she is. We're the ones that are doubting her every week, and she's proving us wrong every week. And when feeds turn on,
okay, so that's my point. Right? Is we all know that the moves that she's making are not like it's working out for her because these people are just stupid. Me. Okay, well, you just said we keep on doubting her, so
I know, but
okay.
You're saying, okay, say that what you just said. You said we know that the moves she keeps making. What'd you just say?
Okay, so I guess I'll group it into myself then. I know that the moves that she potentially has been trying to make that end up not happening, or the moves that she has been making, a la the power, or getting into 15 different alliances, don't even know which alliances that you're in, and what you can't even understand. That is not good gameplay. But the reason why it hasn't affected her yet is one, because there's so many people, and two, because it's a cast full of idiots. It's the same thing with Paul and BB19. Like it's just they know that when they bring somebody back like this and do all this extra and like they know it's better for them than not, so they want to keep her in the game, they cast a bunch of morons. There's one person in this game, two people in this game that are even remotely smart enough to, I think, take a shot at Cirie, and it's Corey in America. But at this point, it's too far. Like the whole entire cast is basically at this point misted by Cirie in terms of socially. So you're going to literally have to pick, like if Cirie goes on the block in the next 3 weeks, she's not going home no matter what. She could be on the block for the next 3 evictions back to back to back, and she's not going home. If you want her to go home, you're going to have to take out Izzy. You're going to have to take out Felicia. You're going to have to take out McCoy. You're going to have to take out Jared.
Bubble of protection, which is an argument where it's like, did she even need the power next week? No. Was it?
But like, there's a situation where Izzy could go home.
There's a situation.
So it's like, you want to keep that power, in my opinion.
Like obviously, I'm hoping something goes wrong because I started off this podcast, Jalen, saying it was stupid. It was a stupid move for Cirie. It was. Yeah. That's my opinion. I agree with you, but I'm saying she's number 1 ranked in the winner contention for me, next to someone else, because she has the biggest chance to win this game, and I've doubted her so many times. I started off this podcast doubting her, and I've been proved wrong so many times. I hope I'm right because I want to see her regret. I want to see her make a mistake. But if this next week is like, who knows, Cameron goes home, right, or something, and then it's like, another person goes home, and then it's like, okay, she really didn't need the power, and she got Matt to waste it, and now she's at jury, and she still has this bubble of protection.
I hope that Jag ends up this saving Jag thing really screws them over. I really hope that it does.
I do too, because I would love to. I'd love to see the season, take a change, and I really do hope something goes wrong. And then on tier 1 with the highest winner contention, joining Suri is Nicole. Same story. I know the game she's playing, but I'm so high on Nicole as an individual. Take her out. Listen. I have seen players in worse positions. But I like how she can talk. I like how she can play. I like how she can socialize. I like her strategy. I like her connection with the cameras. I like someone that can have an outside perspective. I think she has such a versatile toolkit, like a hypothetical toolkit around her belt with a lot of skills and a lot of secrets and a lot of information and a lot of connections of open lines of communication. That's something else I look for. She's not burning any bridges. She's still talking to everyone. Obviously, you see on the feeds where she's like, I hate everyone, blah, 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 blah. But she has open lines of communication and a core around her and a lot in her toolkit. Obviously, she's not won competitions or made any moves or done this, but at the end of the day, she's one of 7 or 8 players that are no-nom heading into week 5. I like her odds the best, right? I know people are going to disagree with me, but I'm so high on Nicole. There's really no factual reasons I'm going to sit here and argue because I know the game she's playing isn't, perfect and flawless right now. She has her flaws, but every winner's had their flaws. Every winner has had their flaws, and I'm telling you right now, I am ahead of the curve. Jackson Mickey, first week of jury, was blown up grateful, and everyone thought him and Holly were the next noms. Josh Martinez was throwing ketchup all over Mark this week. Steve Moses was probably crying at this week. Like, there's so many examples of things where things were not looking good week 4 or 5, and it goes on. But then there's also an argument where there's plenty of seasons. Every season's different. I like Nicole and her entire persona she's giving off. I like her as a player. There's those players when you close your eyes, I can see Nicole coming out to that confetti and being crowned the winner of Big Brother 25. Thoughts, Jalen?
I don't have any, man. I don't see it whatsoever. And
hope you're ready to shave your head.
I am. Now, let's just rewind, right? Because obviously I have my takes have been unpopular, right? But I would like to take my flowers, and so far I have been correct. 2 weeks in a row, I have correctly predicted the HOH, which is luck. Really. There's some skill to it, but not really. But right. Luck and correctly predicted the evicted house guests. And I even tweeted out on Twitter whenever everybody was blowing up saying that Jag was going to stay and that the vote flipped, that he was going to get evicted 10-0, which he did get evicted 10-0. So I think I'm going to save this for next week, or maybe I'll save it for when we get to jury. But I do want to release my official boot list prediction, like literally all the way down. I think I'll save that for jury, even though I think I kind of have an idea of how the season will play out. But I think which if I could nail that, I might as well go play some sort of lottery.
Okay, so if anyone's watching right now, in 2 weeks when jury hits, someone's evicted and Julie announces jury, on this podcast, we're going to open up. Jalen, you're going to release your
official boot list.
And I think, I feel like you could do good because you've been killing the week by week predictions.
Yeah.
You have 3 predictions.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. So as far as predictions for this week, it's hard to say, right? Like, it's been kind of easier because we had an idea what the HOH comp was. So this is just going to really be, I have no idea what the HOH comp is. Nothing to go off of. It's more of just a gut feeling. I'm going to say that Izzy is going to win HOH.
Okay.
I want to say Izzy or Nicole. Those are my 2 picks, but I'm going to stick with Izzy. And Cameron gets evicted is going to be my official prediction.
So we got number one. We
it's-
got Jalen saying there's going to be an Izzy or who HOH?
Nicole,
Izzy or McCole HOH. Then number two, who do you think's evicted?
Cameron. And if Cameron doesn't get evicted, Red's getting evicted. If
Cameron,
one of
Red
those
to
two
go.
win HOH, obviously. So Cameron is my number one most likely to get evicted. Red is my number two most likely to get evicted. And now that Jag is back in the game, my number three most likely to get evicted will be Jag.
Awesome.
Just because if Cameron wins HOH again, Cameron wins HOH again. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be the same week all over again. So if Jag doesn't win veto, he's just going to go home again.
Give us a prediction that is completely out there. Completely. I mean, neither of us really think it's going to happen. But if you
America wins HOH and Noms, Suri, and Izzy.
Who?
America wins HOH and Noms, Suri, and Izzy.
Okay.
I think Corey talks her out of it, but I think she's going to want to do it.
That'd be very interesting. I'm trying to read the chat. Kyler says Suri knows all of her alliances to a T. She listed them off.
Yeah, it's easy to do that when you're sitting down and thinking about listing them off. But when you're having a candid conversation with somebody, it's a lot harder for it to get mixed up. And she's done it multiple times. So yeah, it's very easy to sit when you're laying in bed or it's. You know what I mean? It's very easy to like sit there and be like, okay, yeah, I'm in this lines. But when you're having like a one-on-one candid conversation, it's super easy to slip up and do something stupid. So,
yeah. Feel free to thank you, Emerson, Kyler, Jeremy, all for commenting and saying your piece. Sorry for the technical difficulties this week. My fucking
but so like, my official is Izzy HOH. Which if Izzy wins HOH, oh my gosh, it's going to be a complete disaster of a week. They're going to be back in front of that TV. I wouldn't be surprised if Felicia. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Felicia goes home on Izzy's HOH.
Oh, come on now.
She slipped up and told Jared.
Now because one of these are going to hit. One of these are going to hit.
He slipped up and told Jared that she didn't trust Suri and that Suri runs her mouth too much. They get in front of that TV. They start watching too much stuff. Anything can happen. They are complete loose cannons.
My bold prediction would be a Jared or Cam get evicted this week. One of my graveyards are gone. But I know you disagree.
All right, so let's walk through this scenario where Jared gets evicted.
Hey, listen, I said it was out there. I know no one's there to put him up, but
like let's just like a prediction at some point, even an out there prediction. Like if I say my bold prediction is the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl.
Let's go with Suri wins this next HOH. Hear me out.
There's no situation where Jared goes home on Suri's HOH. It's just not happening.
She gets Blue and Jared to be pawns. She's Blue and Jared to be pawns. Blue comes off the block somehow, and they put up the real target of.
Yeah, you're just wishful thinking. There's no world where Suri nominates Jared on the block. Like Cameron Red is, if Cameron Red or Bowie don't win HOH, those are the two nominees.
Yeah, it's not happening. Listen,
besides potentially America. America.
It's not happening, but I'd love to see Jared go home.
Now, where it could get really weird is Matt. Like Matt, if Matt wins HOH, then that shows that he's not as like. I think that he's starting to bloom as a player, but like. If he wins HOH, then he doesn't know what he's doing.
Who do you want to win HOH?
Who do I want to win HOH? America, Cam, or Red?
Oh man, I would go crazy for a Red.
The really only person. Well, they're just gonna put up Jag and Blue again.
I want Jag HOH, man.
The real person that I want to win HOH is America.
Jag would go crazy.
I want Suri's numbers to be dwindled, and it's not that I'm rooting against Suri. Like I just. Because I still think even if Izzy goes home, Suri still has a really good chance at winning the game, right?
No,
so it's like I just want her to be challenged. You know what I mean? Like I just want her to be challenged.
I'm the same way. I want her to face some adversity just to see if she survives it and all it like if another HOH gets fumbled, like if like her op wins and they somehow like Fessy Scotty it where like they send home the absolute wrong person and Suri comes out with all of her protection still. It'd just be impressive to a point where I'd be like, okay, she survived, right? If she faces
Yeah.
the highest adversity and she survives, then it's like, dang, she gets her flowers. All right, do you
But
have
yeah,
anything to wrap us up with?
I think the HOH I'm rooting for the most is America. Then.
Yeah.
But no, nothing else. I mean, we'll have to see how the season plays out. I'm just excited because I'm the only person in this entire Big Brother universe that sees it the way I see it, and I'm so convinced that it's the right way to see it, and I'm excited for the season to play out so that I can be right and I can literally proclaim that I was the only person to see it, because there's so many people out there who look at this game with such like a biased opinion or have literally no clue. It's a reason that super fans go on the game and literally get shit on because they have no clue what they're doing.
No that better not be an indirect. That better not be an indirect on me.
No, of course not. You've never played. This is the only season that I've see you have bad takes on. So I'm
these
just
are not bad takes, and these
aren't
hard.
They're
these aren't
very
Twitter
bad.
takes either.
I know. I just think that you're just stuck on your preseason picks because they're very bad takes. There is no way America's winning this game. There's no way McColl's winning this game, and there's definitely no way Red's winning the game.
How many people aren't winning this game?
Well, I think we could eliminate a lot. I think that's every season. You can eliminate a lot.
List them off, Jalen. List them off.
So Cameron's not winning the game. America's not winning the game. Red's not winning the game. Bowie's not winning the game. McColl's not winning the game. I think those are the only 5 that Blue's not winning the game. So I think those are the only 6 that I can confidently say for sure aren't winning the game.
All right.
But Matt has a chance.
Yep.
Felicia has a good chance. Yep. Sari has a great chance. Jared has a great chance. Jag has a somewhat chance, but
yeah, I like Jaguar.
He's gonna have to make a deep run, but
yeah, it's a long game. Anything can change. I listen. I'm not like I think it's insane to rule off Nicole this early. Insane to rule off America this early. Even Bowie to get ruled off this early. I know she's not playing any sort of game, but like it's just too early to write these players off. Too early, but we'll see.
We'll see, but yeah, that's pretty much it. All I got. So we'll have to see how it plays out, and I'm excited to continue this storyline, and just so that you guys can see that I have.
We'll see if Jalen's brain is just.
I have the script, man. I have the script, bro.
I got the script.
See, that's more believable because like that would if you had like a script to the season. That would be the only way I could justify you making some of the calls.
I do. Right. Right over that.
That would make a lot more sense. I'd be like, okay, he's not crazy, but
I listen. It's just I see the future. It's gonna happen. Nicole.
I think America goes home I think America's goes home pre.
I think there's a chance. I'm not saying that like they're gonna make Final 4 or Final 5. I think they have the best chance to win the game. Like if you run the experiment 100 times, they win them more often. Obviously, they could go home next week. I'm not saying this isn't a list of who's going to make it the furthest or who's not going home the next 3 weeks. It's who's going to win the game. If America and Nicole are the next 2 boots, they're the next 2 boots. They had a great chance to win the game. It just means Sari was just higher. And so, I mean, in this game.
No, if they get booted the next 2 weeks, that means they had no chance at winning.
Well, then, that's every player, right? That's all but one, right?
But there's certain people that have no chance of getting booted the next 2 weeks.
We'll see. I mean, we'll look at my rankings, and there's going to be one player at the end that wins it all. And we're going to look at my rankings, and we'll see where they were week by week, which tier they were on.
I think Sari is the best. Your best hope to be right.
Sari's been tier 1, tier 2. So
I'm coming with my ranking next week. So.
We'll get your jury and onward, or if you want to do it next week, boot list.
Yeah, we'll see. But appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yeah,
appreciate the engagement, and we'll be back next week with another episode.
All right, peace out, y'all.
Wait, quick question: do you think even with the power, I still think there's going to be a jury buyback?
That's the thing. That's what
just because Luke got expelled. So there's one more week.
Maybe but we'll see. I still think they have a jury buyback to protect the secret from being revealed too early, but maybe not. It's up in the air now.
Or they could just do. They would have to do multiple doubles or a triple eviction or something.
Which I
They would
think
have to
they
do
do.
something.
I think they're gonna do something like that. Like
Yeah. So it's either multiple doubles or a triple eviction or a jury buyback. So we'll
I
see.
could see them doing. I really hope they bring back the double that took out a couple players in All Stars, where they did the double eviction and then it popped up on the screen another double eviction. I could see them bringing that back as a little thing, but we'll see.
Wait, I can't remember. So it was a quadruple. So how many people got evicted that night?
It was a week played out. I forget who it was. Someone went home. Then it was like, it's a double eviction. They played another one. Another player went home. Then after that, they go in the living room and it's another double eviction. It's a triple eviction.
Oh, so it was just a triple eviction. Yeah. So three
Yeah.
people went home. Yeah. Gotcha.
I don't call it a triple eviction because I refer to BB Can style as triple eviction where it's one player goes home, then two. This one I call it double because it's two doubles.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back next Thursday. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
All right. Peace. See y'all.
Peace.